Good morning. This is John Fallett with Senior Enrollment Solutions. Today is July 29th, 2022. You are tuned into the Roadmap to Success. Good morning and happy Friday to all of you. It is 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to begin. I do see individuals logging in as we speak, which is perfectly fine. These will be recorded and on YouTube on the SES channel as well, on the SES Agent channel, that is, on YouTube. So if you happen to miss a webinar, you can always tune in, watch the videos, recap. This is a very important one. I'm happy that you're tuned in because today we're discussing marketing opportunities and tracking your rate of return. I actually spoke to an agent yesterday who's purchased 286 leads and has closed none of them. Now, granted, these leads are only $1.30 a piece, but he's still closed none of them. So understanding and tracking your rate of return is of the utmost importance. Is your marketing working for you? And if it's not, what can you change to help your marketing? So without further ado, we're going to get started. First and foremost, quick disclaimer. Obviously, if you tune into this 22-week webinar, Roadmap to Success, I will assure you this will launch your business to a whole nother level. We're going to review topics that bring you back to Sales 101, provide additional time for questions and answers, and obviously, and more importantly, if you do have any topics that you feel as though we've missed, if you have any information that you want to provide, please reach out to us either in the chat box below, email us, or text us, and all the information will be at the end of this webinar as well. So I hope to keep this to an hour's time. We're going to continue to move through and make sure that we are obviously respecting everyone's time and ending at an appropriate time. So first and foremost, let's all understand that marketing is not a cost. It is not a cost. It costs money, but it's not a cost. It's an investment. It's an investment in your company and your company's growth. There's a reason why huge companies like McDonald's and Coca-Cola still spend millions of dollars marketing, even though everyone knows who they are. It's that brand recognition. You need to continue to have that brand recognition even as an independent agent. Before we really step foot into the marketing side, let's go back and review week number 14 out of 22. What occurred last week in regards to our webinar? Well, first and foremost, to review, we went through the CMS rules, pages 195, 196 of the 199-page contract or new rule that they've come out with. Obviously, review your AHIP Module 4, Section 6, to understand the CMS rules and regulations. Within those rules, you are in need of having multi-plan codes on anything that has any value-added benefits or any plan-specific materials. It's the value-added benefits that's really becoming the concern with the agents: the dental, the vision, the hearing, the transportation, on your lawn signs, table tents, trifolds, business cards, email, your website. All of this needs to have that multi-plan code. So as we are heading into August, quicker than most of us are expecting, review your CMS rules, review the call recording, review the compliance changes, as there have been a lot this year when it comes to CMS rules and regulations. We had some questions from last week's webinar. Sorry, my apologies. First and foremost, let's get to the homework. You were to submit any non-carrier marketing for approval. Hopefully by the end of this weekend, you have your marketing thoughts in order. You've gone through any marketing pieces you have, including your business cards, any flyers, any annual enrollment period, postcards, letters, mailers that you are sending out, to ensure that we're able to get it approved for you prior to the annual enrollment period. Now is the time to get your marketing approved. It is so important, as that timeline to get marketing approved continues to get longer and longer as we approach annual enrollment period. Ensure that your telephony system is set up and beta tested prior to 10/1. SES has a solution for you. We are announcing a CRM with call recording to any agent nationally. More information will be coming here within the next few weeks' time, but that first week of August, we'll be implementing this. And I would strongly suggest you hop on that CRM. We upload your list of leads or clients into your CRM, that you beta test it, that you download the app on your cell phone and get familiar with it prior to October 1st when the law comes into effect. Update your website, your email signatures, and any phone prompts or messages that you have, not only stating that this call is being recorded, but playing that required prompt in the first 60 seconds. If you don't have the prompt recorded, get it recorded. If your system's unable to play the prompt, you may want to be looking at a different system to ensure that there's no human error in playing this prompt. So we have some questions. If I hire appointment setters or have a call center dialing out, do they need to play the required CMS prompt since it's not a sales call? It depends on how long that appointment setter is going to be on the phone, right? It has to be played within the first 60 seconds of that call. It's not of your conversation, it's of the call. So I would suggest that you would provide any appointment setters with that prompt and how to handle that prompt after the call or as they're providing you that warm transfer over to your phone to then close the consumer or to book the appointment. But yes, I would certainly suggest if you are using a third-party vendor, most of your third-party vendors are aware of the prompt, but it also depends on how long they're actually on the call for. Recall that has to be played within the first 60 seconds. Will the recording platform offered by SES allow me to port existing phone numbers? Absolutely, yes. So if you are currently using a CRM, if you have your phone number that's currently in, I don't want to say a Google Voice because that's not really a good CRM, but if you have your phone number in a Cricket or a Dolphin or 8x8, Ono, whatever, yes, we can certainly port your phone number for you to keep that phone number as your business line. I'm a field agent. Do you suggest I purchase or use call recording software when I don't plan on making sales calls? Absolutely, yes. If you ever have a complaint, it will help us track the date and time of when you were actually conversing or how that whole conversation went. Even if you meet someone at a Walmart store during annual enrollment period and you have a complaint later on, that is a huge reason to have your calls recorded. Any conversation that you have with that consumer, that rep, needs to be recorded for you to be able to go back to the carrier, to CMS, to let them know, look, this is how it all transpired. Secondly, many agents have full voicemails. Recording your calls, having a recording platform set up or a CRM platform set up will negate your voicemails from ever being full. More importantly, it will allow you to have two phone lines, one for your business, one for your personal, one ringtone for your business, one ringtone for your personal, a different voicemail for each. So you know if a family member's calling you, it may be an emergency and you have to answer the call. If a consumer's calling you, you might want to step out of the room where it's quieter to answer the phone. But absolutely, I would suggest that every agent out there record all their calls. We've been recording all of our calls for 15 years. It is time. CMS is letting you know as a field agent, it is time that you step up on this technology platform and begin to record your calls. SES has found the answer for you. We'll be launching it nationally in the next week's time, so stay tuned. Plug into any trainings that we're offering, plug into what we're offering to you at either no cost or a discounted cost to ensure that your compliance or that you remain compliant as you go through your sales career. Marketing. You are a marketer. Let's begin here. Now, I understand that you have a license, right? A realtor has a realtor license, but the reality is they're only at the closing table just a few hours a month, hopefully. The rest of the time, they are marketing. you are a marketer. Many of your uplines, the Premier Senior Marketing, the Ritter Insurance Marketing, they have marketing literally in their name. So many of the large FMOs out there that don't conduct business on the consumer side, they've chosen to be a marketing company. That's what they do. So understand what works and what doesn't in your career to make sure that you're able to run your numbers on rate of return and cost per acquisition. So you have a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year investment and understanding what your marketing strategy is going to be and understand how to play out your marketing to grow your business and to have a business plan over the next few years. Once again, marketing is an investment, it's not a cost. However, it is a huge black hole where you can literally lose it all. There are companies that go bankrupt every day because their marketing strategy did not work. They employed a bunch of people, they bought a bunch of machinery, they thought they were going to sell a ton of widgets, but they couldn't market their widgets appropriately and they go bust. It's not the cost per se of the marketing, it's the fact that all of us have daily bills rolling through. We have a mortgage, we have rent, we have car payment, we have student loans, we have child support, we have office rent, we have whatever it is, cell phone payments, etc. The list goes on, that we need to continue to bring revenue in. However, you have to allow yourself to have that marketing going out. Be aware of your marketing costs, and you have to be aware of that rate of return. Is it working? Is it not working? And what can you change? Subtle changes can increase your marketing return. A different word here, a different color there. You have to keep in mind, if a consumer is colorblind, that your green postcard that you always send out may not look very good to them. So change it from green to purple or green to blue or a lighter green. Subtle changes make a huge difference. Statistically, for every dollar that you put into your marketing, you should be yielding $2.20 in return. Now, if that's the case, you should be pumping as much money into marketing that you can afford because you'll obtain more money back than what you're putting in statistically, allowing you to market even more into your company, into your business, allowing the animal, the beast, to continue to grow and grow and grow. Marketing is incredibly simple. Here's your 101. Step one, find consumers. Anywhere, everywhere you possibly can. Perfect your call, perfect your script, market your ass off, know your stuff, be prepared, get prepared if you're not, and be that professional. But step one is you have to scream from the highest mountaintop, I've arrived, and you need to reach out to me. Why? Because I can help you with your Medicare, your life insurance, your annuities, your dental, your vision, your hearing. I'm an expert. I've gotten myself prepared over the course of a few months or a few years to really understand my stuff, or at least how to gather the information to get help. But you have to find those consumers. They're not going to find you. You have to market for them. Step number two, get in the door, right? Have a predictable phone script. Even if you're selling telephonically, which some of you are that are on the call, or some of you that are still belly to belly, you have to have this predictable, measurable phone script on how many individuals do I talk to compared to how many people do I close, or how many individuals can I get in the door. Step three, consult. Stay on the fence. You are not biased by one carrier or another. You are not biased to one style of insurance compared to another. You are simply here to consult them. And the more that they feel that you're consulting them, the lower their resistance is, the lower their sales resistance is going to be. And you're able to build a relationship. Do you know the consumers that you've sold in the past? Do you know what their situation is? how close of a relationship have you built with them? Because the building of the relationship is crucial for you to be able to build relationships or have the trust in that consumer to have referrals or have that referral sprawl of their 6 degrees of separation. You have to build that relationship. Step 4, follow through, follow up, cards, calls, whatever you can do to continue to let that consumer know that you are still in the industry, that you are still helping individuals, you're still in their community, and if they have any questions, to reach out. Carriers spend a gaggle of money on promotional items, right? Keychains, jar grips, back scratchers, whatever it may be. The reason that we continue to spend money on the promotional items is in hopes that they remain in your hand, in your home, and that you're triggered every time you open the fridge that you see my magnet with my name and my phone number on it. But it's the little steps. That step 4 is so crucial, that follow through. A handwritten thank you card, a holiday card. I send out a Christmas card with my family and dog to all of my consumers. I don't do it every year. I do it every other year, but they appreciate it to be able to put that face to a name, because most of my sales are done telephonically. Do not skip step 4. I don't care if you met them at a soup kitchen. I don't care if they were at a lunch and learn or an ice cream social, but that follow through gives that consumer that warm and fuzzy that they've received your business card again, they've received your magnet again, and that you care enough to pay a kid, it doesn't matter who it is, but that you care enough to send out a card or make a call. Step 5, repeat step 1, but now you don't need to find the consumers. They're actually finding you because you perfected your step 1 through 4. I cannot emphasize how simple this process is. You just need to build your pipeline with step 1, right? You need to find enough consumers so that way through step 5, you have enough referrals coming through, but you cannot skip the step 3 and step 4 through this process, which many agents do, and you will not build that relationship, and you will not build your referral sprawl, and you will continue to have to market yourself the same way year after year, day after day, because you're simply missing that additional step in there, which is following up and following through, is what you would expect an agent to do with you, right? In buying a home and buying a policy, you are expecting that level of customer service. The big question I have for you at this point in time, being that it's almost August 1st, is how much business do you want to write? Many of you that are on are Medicare agents, right? And the majority of the Medicare Advantage plan sales happen during this annual enrollment period. SCS has locations at Kroger. We have a relationship with Beaumont. We can get you plugged into these locations, set up an ice cream social for you every week or whatever we can do. But the big question pertains to you. How many apps realistically do you plan on writing? And more importantly, having this multiple stream of marketing has to occur. You have to have your marketing strategy in place, your marketing materials in place, your multi-plan approvals in place, and you have to understand that rate of return. How much am I spending in order to have the level of revenue that I'm looking to obtain? So the real question is simply this. You opened a business. I don't care what kind of business it is, but now what, right? So let's assume that you wanted to open a wedding gown business, right? And you have a storefront that you just signed a 5-year lease on, and you're all excited that you're going to sell all these wedding gowns. The problem is you didn't realize that the road in front of you is going to be under construction for the next 5 years, and no one is passing your storefront. as many independent agents go, they don't have, you don't have, or may not have a storefront. At an office, I'll tell you, an office sign, many offices are back in technology buildings, right? There is no storefront. There's not a sign on a major road or highway showing pull in here for your Medicare needs. So I open a wedding gown shop. The road in front of my location is closed. How do I continue to market myself to all of those individuals that are local around me, to let them know, even though the road's closed, we have a back alley. You can pull in the back alley and still come in and try on gowns, and I'd love to sell you one, right? How will you let your clients know that you're still open and ready to conduct business? I would assume that I would start sending out flyers, mailer pieces to my local geographical area. I may put a billboard up saying we're still open, right? Dodge the traffic, come in the back way, or what have you. I'd reach out to any current clients that helped me have the revenue to open my store in the first place. I'd probably be on the radio. I'd be shooting out email blasts. I'd have some kind of social media platform created where I'm at least letting consumers know and promoting myself through Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, what have you. I'd create publications of some kind. I'd have to let people know that I'm still open, that I'm still here to conduct business, even though you don't know that I'm open or can't find me because the road's closed. Create a plan for AEP to let your consumers know through multiple streams of marketing that you are available to help them with any of their needs. Available plans of marketing must be predictable. Not only is your marketing predictable, and if it's new marketing, it's not predictable yet, right? So purchase those 100 leads, put up 100 flyers, stop into 100 dentist offices. You have to have enough to be able to understand what is predictable and not. Change it ever so slightly to see if it works better or worse for you. Come up with a predictable phone script. Once a consumer phones you, what are you talking about? How are you handling that conversation? Once you're actually able to present to them, have it be predictable, have your knowledge in place, ensure that you have a predictable close, not the how's that sound? That doesn't work, right? We're not in 1986 anymore. Have your predictable close, which will then create predictable income. Then we can work backwards. So how much business, once again, are you looking at writing this annual enrollment period? And how can we work backwards to be able to generate enough leads? You don't have a 100% closing ratio. No one does, right? So how many leads do we have to obtain for you to be able to sell that level of consumer or products? So understand there's 101 ways to market yourself, and we're going to go through a few of them this morning. Once again, if you need anything created, certainly reach out. We're going to begin with utilizing your time instead of money. And there's two ways to market this, and there's two things that rule this world. One is time, the other is money. The homeless man has all the time in the world and no money. And that professional executive that's traveling 340 days a year has all the money in the world, but no time. There has to be a balance, not only in life, but in marketing as well. There are very inexpensive ways to get your name out there, but it will take your time. Or you can pay for it. You can pay someone else to do it. You can pay to have just stagnant marketing like a billboard or a radio ad or what have you, right? That's going to just continue to market for you without any efforts of your own. But there has to be some kind of marketing strategy. So let's begin with the easiest one, which is purchasing business cards, right? Through SCS, you can buy 1,000 two-sided high-gloss business cards for $60. Leave them everywhere you possibly can. I have literally a box in my trunk of business cards. I leave them on all the cork boards. I leave them at every Panera Bread that I pass by. I leave them at half the diners that I pass by. I leave multiple on the tables when I go out to lunch, right? I leave my business card anywhere and everywhere I can. Give to as many people as humanly possible, obviously without approaching them or not being compliant. Make sure you list what you do and why they need to call you. Don't just have a very generic card of who is this person. Make it look like the Medicare card, or on the back have the I love Medicare, which will help create for you. But it's really important to have a call to action with your marketing. Trifolds, free of charge or very inexpensive. We'll help you get them printed in color from a printer. Typically, you can order them from either the carrier or from your upline. You can place them in dental offices that accept that carrier. So we have had dental specific trifolds created for carriers. Now it's up to you to put the time in, to hop on the carrier website, to pull up a dozen dentist offices that accept, in this case, Zing or Molina or whomever it is, to be able to go in and befriend the person at the dentist office and ask them, hey, you accept Zing. Is it okay if I just leave these trifolds behind? I'll check up on you every week or so and make sure that you have plenty of them. But here's some recommendations as to helping your consumers obtain the level of benefit or care that they need while still providing the dentist additional revenue. So keep in mind, if the dentist accepts Medicaid, Medicaid would rather pull a tooth than fill a tooth. So if we're able to provide that dentist a plan that includes crowns or bridges, more expensive costs, the dentist then can make additional money by being able to provide that care or that service to the patient. But the patient needs to know that they're able to have these additional benefits, which many of them simply don't know. So by bringing in a dozen donuts once a month to a dentist office and keeping that relationship going, they'll allow for you to leave your trifolds or flyers behind at no cost to you. It's just your time, right? So every other Wednesday, maybe you go out and you hit your 6 to 10 dentist offices that you've built a relationship with, find a few more along the way, make sure that you have enough trifolds there, and reinstill that relationship with the front desk staff. They are critical in providing you that referral. There's no cost to this. It's just your time and finding 6 to 8, 10 dentist offices locally that you would like to go rep, United Health, Molina, whoever. It doesn't matter. We'll get you the trifolds or whatever it is created for you to go out and represent yourself in that fashion. Your current clients, every year you should be sending out a letter, a postcard. I prefer a postcard, far less stuffing and dealing with, etc. That's what my postcard looks like. The front of it, the back of it, obviously is just more or less postage and address, what have you. But every year I send all of my consumers and then some an AHIP postcard. They cost about 70 cents a piece. You can either run your postcard through like a Vista print or a Shutterfly, and you can just upload your Excel list of all your current consumers. They'll put the prepaid postage on there and get it sent out. If you enjoy putting the stamps and the labels on to make it look more personable, certainly do so. I wouldn't suggest you handwrite a postcard because I'm hoping that you have too many consumers to get those postcards written this time of year. Or you can pay someone to handwrite the postcards, obviously. But it helps you really remain engaged with your consumer. As a note, your postcard should be sent out no later than really September 20th. You're wanting it to land on October 1st. You're wanting to beat the TV commercials. You're wanting to engage with your consumers. You're wanting to button those consumers up. I already know what plan I have because Robert already came to my home and discussed this or phoned me, and we already went through it and I'm moving to carrier B. So when they're out having breakfast with their friends and their friends are saying, oh my gosh, this is so confusing. No, it's not. I got mine taken care of the first week. How'd you do that, Joyce? Well, my insurance agent's the bomb, and he got me all handled. So then the referrals start October 15th, right? Try and get as many of your consumers buttoned up October 1st to the 15th. Can you submit the applications? No. However, you can at least have a conversation, run their meds, make sure their doctor's still in network, etc. And you can close them mentally that on the 15th, I'm going to get a phone call from Robert, and Robert's going to finalize my enrollment through whatever carrier it is. So I can't emphasize that reminder postcard. If you don't have a book of business that's large enough yet, then reach out to us and we'll draw a list of consumers that are either on Medicare, turning 65 sooner than later, or what have you, and create a postcard with you that is CMS approved, right? If it has anything having to do with dental, vision, what have you, but get some kind of reminder out to your current consumers. Tearoffs, nearly free. They cost about 80 cents a piece for a color copy. Now with this, consistency is key. Find 5 to 10 locations to hit religiously every week. So Wednesday may be your day that you're not in the office. Wednesday morning, you go hit your 6 to 8 dental offices. You make sure they have their donuts and their Trifolds, and that's how your morning goes. And then in the afternoon, you go hit your locations, either your Panera Breads or your diners that have cork boards. Your laundromats is really the key here to where these work out best. But make sure that you're talking to the person that is working at the laundromat. Let them know why you're there, right? I can tell you the first name of every laundromat that I have tear-offs at, because when I walk in, I greet that individual. And I've already let them know what I do and how I help the community. So they can send people to me or referrals to me, or they can direct them to my tear-off. Make sure with a tear-off that you rip one of them off, right? People want to do what other people do. So on that psychology side, I always rip one off, but I'm consistent. Every week, I have a new tear-off put up at these laundromats, at these Panera Breads, at these diners that have cork boards. It's very, very inexpensive to do. I mean, you're talking literally like 20 bucks a month in marketing. If you sell one person a month off that marketing, it's well worthwhile, because I'm after the referral sprawl of offering coverage and helping that one consumer that I met at the laundromat or that phoned me from Panera Bread, what have you. Tear-offs are incredibly inexpensive. Table tents, even less expensive. They're about 20 cents a piece. Once again, consistency is key. Leaving them everywhere. Restaurants, diners, any place that has a ledge. I even go as far as the hair salons are a great place to leave your table tents. Any place I get to go food from that doesn't have a window where I'm walking in and picking up my Thai food, they have my table tents just sitting there. So table tents are very, very inexpensive way to continue to get your name out there. Basically like a business card, right? It's 2 business card sizes together, folded to make a pyramid, if you will, or a triangle to set up on a counter. Very inexpensive to get created, but they work incredibly well as long as you're consistent with them. People will grab them and hang on to them for later use. Magnets, they're about 15 cents a piece. Magnets.com is who we use. That's who I would recommend in designing or creating your magnet. I provide to every sale and non-sale. If I'm walking out of your home, you're getting a magnet on your fridge. If you have a fridge that doesn't accept a magnet, some of these newer fridges, stainless steel, whatever, they don't accept magnets on them, I'll stick it on your back door. but I am going to leave my magnet in your home every time I'm in your home. I have to make sure that you have a way of contacting me. Every time I send out a thank you card to my consumer, they receive yet another magnet. They're so inexpensive. Why not have one for them and one for them to give to their neighbor or their sister, sibling, what have you? Magnets are incredibly inexpensive and they are priceless, in my opinion. I've gone through probably 180,000 magnets in my career. Lawn signs, they're about $4 a piece with a stand. You don't necessarily need the stand, but they're about $200 to purchase 50 lawn signs. Couple things with lawn signs, you want to put them out on Friday, take them down on Sunday. There are individuals out there that do keep the roads clean, right, within the city or the county. They will take your sign if it's put out on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we want to obviously put it out when there's no one working, if you will. Make sure that it's in high traffic areas, and make sure that with your lawn signs, it's a place where people stop to look. If it's just on a highway exit ramp or what have you, or at a roundabout, for instance, you don't have enough time for that consumer to really see your phone number and to take it down or to remember who to call. I would strongly suggest, if doing lawn signs, to set up some kind of vanity number, right? This is the phone number and our lawn sign that we currently use. Call 844-MEDIMED. You can see that the multi-plan code is on our lawn sign already. It has to be, because we're mentioning vision, dental, hearing, etc. Creating some kind of vanity number is very easy to do, but it really helps in making sure that that consumer knows, and you can begin to brand yourself accordingly. Make your type large as possible and easy to read. There has to be a call to action, right? Try to obtain an easy phone number. You can always go to cheappoliticalsigns.com is where we order our lawn signs from. There are local organizations here in Michigan as well as nationally. There's print shops that'll print them off, but this is really the absolute least expensive location to go to purchase your lawn signs. Mailer pieces. We have created a generic mailer piece that we send out on behalf of the agents. We have a much higher rate of return than your Kramer Direct, Target Leads, Lead Concepts, because our generic mailer piece only requires their phone number. It doesn't have, I don't want all their data. I already have their address, right? I mailed you something. So now all I need is just your phone number. So our direct mailer piece, if you want to use SCSs, we'll get it approved for you. We'll get the phone number changed, etc. So it's yours. A mailer piece is roughly $530 for a 1,000-piece mailer, of which you're probably obtaining about a 1.2 to 1.4% rate of return. So out of a 1,000-piece mailer, call it you're getting 12 to 14 leads per se. You should be at a 25% closing ratio as a rate of return. So every 1,000-piece mailer that you send out, you should be receiving or selling 3 to 5 consumers, 4 on average. So if I'm selling 4 consumers and I know what my average commission is, once again, it seems to be that I'm making $2.10 for every dollar I'm spending in marketing. Generic mailer pieces still work. They work much better on the DSNP, the LIS consumer compared to the MedSup consumer, because the MedSup consumers are typically online, and we'll get to those leads in a moment. Obviously, send out a follow-up mailer after that generic mailer. If you're only receiving a 1.2% rate of return, you will receive those mailer pieces back, which for a Medicare Advantage plan agent is so important. It's your consent to contact, right? There are many mailer pieces that we do not close. If your closing ratio is only 25%, you're not closing 75% of these consumers. Mail something else out to them. Make sure they have their magnet. Send them, I've been trying to reach you, or whatever, as a letter standpoint goes. It is well worth the extra $1 to resend them something, because there was an interest Maybe they just dialed you the wrong way or put in the wrong phone number, or their phone was disconnected. Whatever it may be, you have to reach or re-reach back out to these consumers. Let's talk about hot leads, Zoom leads, internet leads. Lead costs for a warm or a cold transferred internet inquired lead ranges between $30 and $50 nowadays. Your closing ratio as a seasoned agent should be about one sale out of every 11 leads you're purchasing, which means then you're spending about $330 to $350 per sale. So is it worth it to you? Well, it really comes down to this. What other products can you offer your client, or are you comfortable in selling? Can you sell them a Medicare Advantage and a final expense and a hospital indemnity plan? And if so, then absolutely, it's well worth it. How good are you at obtaining referrals and building that relationship with your clients? What is your average consumer retention? If my retention on the average consumer is 5 years, then of course it's worth it. But if my average retention is only 9 months, now I'm losing money, right? Are you looking at a 3-year and a 5-year business plan? Is it worth it for you to make no money in selling someone for 18 months in order to have 10 referrals come out of that 18 months down the road? And I would beg of you to answer yes, it should be. You can go along and not make money with your marketing. It burns and it doesn't feel good, but many marketing strategies have a loss leader, right? Grocery stores do this. Come in and buy your milk for 9 cents. Why? Why are they willing to lose money on the milk? Because it's right next to the eggs, and they're just going to wallop you on the cost of the eggs. They're going to hope that you have some kind of purchase on the way out. They're going to hope that you fill your cart and not with 9-cent gallons of milk, right? That loss leader is okay, knowing that you have other products that you're able to sell to them. Bus ads, billboards, etc. are generally about $400 a week through most of the local chamber of commerce that SES is affiliated with. They do have some kind of promotional ads from time to time where you get 10 days or 2 weeks on a billboard, 59 or 94 for $500 for 2 weeks or whatever it is. Your smart buses, Genesee County, Oakland, Wayne, they all have the smart bus. It's about $400 a week to have your ad up in the smart bus. Airport parking bans we've looked at, taxis we've looked at, branding the back of a city bus we've looked at. Some of this gets really expensive, right? $1,600 a month for a bus ad or a billboard. You need to be making sure that you have enough sales coming in to at least break even and not be losing money on your marketing. Getting into radio, Pandora, or television, there are free or very low cost ways of getting on TV. Wayne's World started this back in the 90s, right? They were on free cable network TV. You can still get on cable network TV. There are still people that watch that from 3 to 4 a.m. You can go record yourself with a Q&A person and obviously have your script together, but there is very inexpensive ways of getting your face on TV. Typically, a TV or radio ad will cost you about $10,000 to get it created, to have it be professional, and to have it launched, to be able to have 50 spots or what have you. Obviously, it will not be prime time. Will cost you about 10 grand. Make sure that your timing and your audience is correct, right? So if you are getting into Pandora or any other radio that you recognize who your audience is, I wouldn't have it here in Detroit. I wouldn't go to a Canadian channel, right? Because you're missing out on some of your audience. Making sure that there's no additional filming or setup costs is incredibly important if you're going down that path as well. I truly like Pandora, not for the D-SNP consumers, not for the Medicare Advantage plan consumers, but for the life insurance and the MedSup consumers, because it forces them to listen to the entire ad. You can't skip it. Even if you shut your car off, turn your car on, etc., More importantly, most of your newer cars, your Mercedes, your Fords, they have the Bluetooth connection, right? We're in 2022. Most newer cars have Bluetooth, and most consumers are listening to their talk radio, listening to podcasts, or listening to the radio either through a Spotify or a Pandora platform. Generating more business, right? Who are your current consumers? Who are your past consumers? Really important to reach out to them. Agent of record change forms. That's as good of a sale as a sale in my book. If you have a consumer that says, I don't know who my agent is, I don't know what I can do to order my over-the-counter benefits or whatever it may be, an agent of record change form allows you renewal income for the life of the consumer. Talk about the agent of record change forms, know which carriers offer agent of record change forms and which carriers do not. So that way you can have them in your briefcase ready to go just for a quick signature or what have you. Wooing over other agents' clients is an absolute love of mine. I love getting on the phone with someone that says, yeah, I talked to them a few years ago. They're really, I never get a Christmas card. They never sent me the thank you card. I don't even know what their phone number is. They never even gave me a business card. I love selling those people. Love it. And then I'll reach back out to the agent and try and help retrain the agent, right? Finding new consumers. Any referrals from anywhere you can. Start getting a list together of individuals that you might be able to write a letter to or send a postcard out to and obtaining their referrals, right? Start diving into your 6 degrees of separation, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your siblings, 6 degrees of separation, and start finding that referral platform. As I mentioned, marketing to professional offices, your physician's office. My primary care physician knows exactly damn well what I do. They should. My dentist office knows as well. And all my specialists know exactly what it is that I do and how I help my community. PNC agents are perfect, right? Perfect. They don't want to take their AHIP. They don't want to be dealing with certifications. They don't want to be dealing with Medicare. They already have their expertise, which is property and casualty. Same with your financial planners. Any dentist, more importantly, getting into some of the podiatrist offices, those that sell podiatry shoes. We have carriers coming out for 2023 that have no cost insulin, no cost podiatry shoes. I mean, these carriers are, most of them are on the insulin plan now. So get in with those that are dealing specifically with the insulin dependent community. Walmart stores. If you're interested in working a Walmart store, we have them set up nationally. Any Kroger stores that you want to work in the Midwest, obviously we're only including a couple states. Otherwise, we're discussing the King Soopers, et cetera, of the US. CVS stores, we have opportunities in the CVS stores as well as community events. Any grassroots events that you have or wish to get set up, if you want a dedicated rep or an Oak Street rep, or an SES rep, if you need a PowerPoint created, whatever it may be, please reach out. There's so much going on with the grassroots events and just the local community events to get you plugged in to have a table to start creating leads at no cost. You have to understand your rate of return though. How many, for instance, let's just start with mailer pieces, right? How many mailer pieces do I need to send? How many are received? How many calls do I need to make? How many appointments do I need to set compared to how many clients am I able to write? The numbers are the numbers. Leave the emotion out of this game. There is no emotion to this. Once you understand the numbers, you'll know exactly how you can base your emotion on the level of work that you're putting in. So let's assume that I drop a 1,000-piece mailer. I get 50 returned. It's a 5% rate of return, a little higher than normal, but let's say I get 50 leads out of that. I make 200 phone calls. I call each of them 4 times. Now, note to self, United Health Leads, for instance, has an average of 5 calls per contact. If you're only phoning them once or twice, you're missing the boat. It takes multiple calls and attempts to reach these consumers. And if you're dialing them on a cell phone, you might be missing the boat too, right? Automating this process is really important. Let's say out of the 50 individuals that returned my postcard, I booked 22 appointments and I'm able to make 6 sales, right? So it's about what, 22% that I'm able to close. Let's say that I'm able to increase my calls, my script to book more appointments, right? So let's say I can increase my appointments by 50% because I've perfected my call script on why they need to see me. I've perfected the fact that I know they're going to be there. I'm not going to get porched. So out of those 36 appointments, now I can sell 12 sales, right? The difference between 6 and 12 sales is approximately $18,000 a year. It's well worth perfecting your script, your appointment, and understanding the numbers. Over a 6-year period, it's $60,000 in income just to increase my phone skills by 50% to then be able to double my closing ratio. Who's a referral? Anyone, a spouse, a sibling-in-law, a specialist, a primary care, a dentist office, a colleague, a neighbor, a friend. I don't give a damn who it is. If you have a pulse, then you could be a referral to me too, right? And I want that referral sprawl, and I'm going to show you that I appreciate that referral sprawl. Why? Because they're free, nearly, right? How many referrals are you getting in a week, a month, or a year? Begin to track this. Who are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Are they all coming from the same church? Are they all coming from the same building? Are they all coming from the same person or the same doctor's office? Where are these referrals coming from so I can thank them with a thank you card, with a birthday call, with whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm staying in front of my referrals and in staying in front of my current consumers, right? To create the referral sprawl. Are you sending out a quarterly newsletter? Does it have your wife's macaroni salad on it or whatever, right? Are you sending out holiday cards? Are you making a birthday call? How many of these consumers are getting a call on their birthday? It's not very many. They don't have any loved ones left, right? They're all dying out around them. Reaching out to your consumer with a birthday call is so appreciated, and it takes you at most 5 to 10 minutes a day. No one's book is that big to spend all this time making all these birthday calls, and half the time you're just leaving a voicemail anyway, right? There's 50 plus steps, little details in your sales that make all the difference in obtaining those referrals. Are you prompt? Are you knowledgeable? Are you professional? Are you setting the expectation of what's to follow? Are you letting the consumer know your next step is you're going to get your cards and paperwork, and your next step is you're going to, and the next step is, and I'm going to hold your hand tightly through this process? Are you providing handwritten thank you cards? Are you returning calls promptly? Are you stable? Have you created longevity in the industry? Are you friendly or are you professional? And that's a huge thing on the sales side. You can sell someone on being friendly, or you can sell someone on being professional. If you can perfect both, you are literally unstoppable as a sales rep. So let's review a few things. Marketing. Once again, it's either free or it's costly or it's somewhere in between, but it is a must to help you grow your business. Different forms of marketing will provide different rates of return, right? Sometimes the more expensive the marketing, the higher rate of return, sometimes not so much. So keep track of your rate of return. Keep track of your marketing efforts. Know what marketing efforts are working and what marketing efforts aren't, but have multiple marketing efforts going at the same time. Have your 6 trifolds up at the laundry mats, have your 6 trifolds up at your dentist offices, be purchasing a 1,000-piece mailer every week or every month, Make sure that you have your e-blast going, that you're doing something on social media, that you're building your presence in some fashion. Know where your sales are coming from. Market through multiple streams to ensure a higher rate of return, but make certain that you understand what your rate of return on your marketing is. Your homework for this next week: review income desired. What do you want to earn this AEP? You tell me what you want and I'll tell you exactly how to get there. Work backwards to understand how many leads do you need to obtain? What marketing is needed to reach your desired application count? We're not talking Medicare, we're talking apps. Do you want to write 5,000 dental apps? Do you want to write 5 whole life giant, right, universal life policies? What kind of marketing and who you're marketing to will determine that. As most of you are Medicare agents on, we're going to be discussing Medicare, right? What you get paid on an MAPD sale, how many MAPD or MedSup sales. I also want you to include in that, though, any final expense, cancer, whole life, term life, what have you, on what are you looking to do this annual enrollment period. Come up with a dollar amount. Let me know who or what specifically you're looking to market towards. I'll help you create the marketing materials. We'll make sure that we're all compliant. You have your multi-plan on everything and you're good to go. But create a marketing plan so we can get your marketing pieces approved and into print. Really by September 1st should be the deadline, so you can have your print together and out by September 15th. Is your AHIP completed? We'll reimburse your AHIP costs. Obviously, if you complete your AHIP by July 31st, you either need to have 5 MAPD contracts with us or write 10 Zing applications, 1/1/2023 effective dates. Zing is coming on strong here in Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan, as most agents attending are Michigan or Midwest based. We are obviously helping to grow Zing this year. So write 5 MAPD consumers on Zing, write 10 Zing applications or have 5 MAPD carriers with SES. Get your AHIP done this weekend. We'll reimburse you. Zing certifications are open now. New carrier contracts are coming into play. Here in Michigan, you have McLaren that just opened. Zing is now open. PHP should be coming soon. Out in Illinois, you have Devoted that is now open. In Indiana, you have Lasso, you have Blue Cross of Indiana. So there's lots of changes going on. Understand, please, the compliance side to all of this. Reach out to your developers, reach out to your marketers. Make sure that we're getting everything in print again. Yes, does it sting that you're burning a few $100s in printed materials? Of course, but it is so important that you remain compliant. More importantly, you market and market and market some more to have an amazing annual enrollment period. And if you do not know where to go, you do not know what to do, reach out. I will make and create a list for you. We'll get a calendar together for you, and I will fill your days with annual enrollment period marketing to ensure that you're reaching the revenue, that you're reaching your desired